We're going to continue by looking at some other of the material settings for objects. This time, let's create a new object. So I'm going to close the object I have here, create a new layer, put that one up to the top, and I'm going to create a 3D sphere. So new shape from layer, use 3D sphere. Now the 3D sphere currently is kind of this neutral gray setting, and what I want to do is check out the material settings. So I can click on the material box here, and by the way, I noticed that when you are on the main scene, the Photoshop CS4 does not have this set of tools here on the left. So that is definitely one of the differences between CS5 and CS4. Anyway, you can choose some of the materials that are here already built in, and it'd be really nice to figure out where they get these materials from. And I'm not exactly sure. But it's kind of an interesting thing to be aware of. Anyway, I'm going to remove the texture for the bump that was accidentally applied there. And what we're going to be looking at is reflection, illumination, gloss, shine, some of these things down here. Now, the two most important things are going to be this gloss and the shine. The gloss is going to be allowing us to make something that looks a little bit more glossy. Now, the shine works with it at the same time. The shinier it is, the smaller that glossing point will be. The less shiny it is, the larger that glossy point will be. Now, that glossy point and shine actually will work with what's called specularity. And if we add a color into that specularity, you'll see it apply to that gloss. As we apply our gloss and take it up, and I'm just using the scroll wheel, you'll see that that specularity shows a little bit greater. Now we can, of course, make that smaller, the glossy point, or we can make it larger by taking the numbers down. So there's where we might add a little bit of gloss and shine. Now our ambience will actually make this object brighter overall, and so will the illumination if I make the illumination go all the way up. So they both kind of do the same thing, it seems. But in the illumination, we can possibly try and add other things. So let's say that I make my specularity more of a blue color, because that will work better with what I'm thinking of loading. I'm going to load a landscape into the specularity and see what happens. So I can find a lot of different landscapes online. This one's kind of nice. That one's kind of nice as well. This has some bold colors, so let's try using that one. It's also a small image. I'm going to copy that image, go to my 3D tools, and now go to Illumination and create a new texture, and it will create a new texture from the file that I have copied. Might need to fit that across the entire object. So I make sure that it's going to fit. Oh, it seems as though I did not do the right thing. I knew there was something I did wrong, and what I did wrong is I did not create my layer. So I need to double click on the layer and paste it. That would be it. I know there was something I did wrong. I did not double click on the material. All I did was create the material. So here is that self-illumination, and that illuminated object is now there. If we take some of the specularity and gloss down, we'll be able to see that illumination just a little bit better maybe. There's where that illumination is. Let's try taking it all the way up. Doesn't seem like it's really changing a great deal. But you can see that we have applied that material to that object. Now it looks a little washed out, so of course what we would probably want to do is use that as a diffuse if we wanted to be able to really show that material, that object, as having that particular material. So you can see it's there. Now it just looks a little bit different when it's applied as a diffuse versus applied as an illumination. So there we can take it back down to 0. Take our gloss back up, and maybe our shine up so we can have more of a shiny object. And you can just play and see what you come up with.